Hello, CEP 200 students, and welcome to Unit 6 of the course. You should have just completed Unit 5 and submitted all of those materials as of yesterday. So that consists of the Unit 5 assignment and quiz number 3. And I do want to mention, I have been getting a lot of questions regarding quiz number 3, and it kind of threw me off for a second, and then I went and changed some things, and then I realized that the way that I had it was the right way. So for the last question on quiz number 3, it was asking the median salary of pastoral counselors, and I believe the year of 2016. In your book, it does state that the salary information for pastoral counselors at this point in time was not available. So the correct answer to the quiz was none of the above. I did have a couple of students reach out to me and actually tell me that on page 87 there was salary information for clergy members, and it did provide a number that would have fallen in the range of an option that I had provided on the quiz. So this threw some people off, and I can see where it might have seemed like a trick question or been kind of confusing. So what I am going to do is I'm going to go through all of the quizzes manually like I usually do, and I'm actually going to provide credit for that question if you had answered with either of those responses. So while the correct answer was none of the above, I do see where there might have been confusion in it being another option, so I will go back and provide that credit for you. So I did get quite a few emails over the last few days. So if you are watching this, you will know if there was any confusion on your part that you will actually be getting credit. So give me a few days to do that, and it should be all updated for you. So let's take a look. I just finished grading Unit 3 as of, I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. I just got done grading Unit 4. So this consisted of the Unit 4 assignment as well as discussion board number 4. I had mentioned and have been mentioning throughout the semester that the ACEs study are something, or are studies that I am very passionate about, and I really, really enjoyed reading all of the responses from not only your discussion board posts, but as well as your Unit 4 assignment responses. Majority of the class did a really excellent job. You can tell that you went through all of the material, which includes the reading materials, the TED Talk, and you really took your time to really just process your thoughts and provide some further details on how you felt about this topic. And ultimately, that's all I can ask for. So most of the students in the course did a really good job and got, really good scores on the discussion board post as well as the unit assignment. I can tell that this research really resonated with a lot of you, whether you shared with us that you have your own ACEs that you've experienced in your life, or people just really asking about what we can do from this point forward with this information. And while the first study of adverse childhood experiences was conducted quite some years ago, it seems that we still have not caught on as a nation as far as the importance and the effect that these kinds of experiences have on children into adulthood. So when I was going through and seeing that a lot of students had asked what we're supposed to do going forward, really my best advice is to just continue bringing awareness to this topic. So this is why I actually bring this to our course, because I have a platform to where I am able to educate other people about it and just really bring awareness to the topic. I often use my social media platforms as far as, TED Talks, YouTube videos, Psychology Today articles, and that kind of thing. I generally come across some things having to do with the ACEs studies, and I will share this stuff on social media, and I'm sure that some of you guys have seen stuff like this on your dashboards. So as far as New York State, I think that we are progressing towards really understanding trauma and trauma-informed care. I do think that this is something that is expanding, and clinicians in society are really starting to understand the seriousness of it, if you will. And so, as I had mentioned in my last unit video, Dr. Nadine Burke Harris was recently elected California's Surgeon General. And what I can just really hope for this nation is that she continues utilizing her work and her platform to continue educating others in our country and in the world, and really just setting an example for other states and other areas as far as this kind of work. So what she has done, what she mentioned in her TED Talk, is she likes to assess children right off the bat and then form a multidisciplinary team to really provide the best treatment that she can for her patients, which will provide a better opportunity for her to or for her patients to, really live a successful and healthy life across their lifespan. So I won't talk too much more on this, but I can appreciate that a lot of students seem to have enjoyed this material and really paid attention to it, and that's really all that I can ask for. So moving on, for Unit 6. So for here, you do not have a unit assignment. All you have here, as far as submission, is a discussion board. So you are going to read 2 chapters from your book, 3 articles, as well as watching a TED Talk titled The Bridge Between Suicide and Life. And this is a very interesting video, as the individual, Kevin Briggs, I believe was working security or something of that nature for the Golden Gate Bridge. And you will learn here, if this isn't something that you were already aware of, is the Golden Gate Bridge has almost, I think it's the highest number of suicides of people jumping from the bridge. And he really goes through and talks about his experience as an officer or a security guard for the bridge, and really trying to talk people off the ledge. And so it's really, really interesting hearing it from his perspective. And there are 3 different discussion board, bullet points that I want you to talk about in your discussion board. So as we, near the end of the semester, your work is really starting to wind down. After Unit 6 comes the conclusion unit of this semester. So please pay attention to the due dates for the conclusion. This is from December 2nd to December 6th. So I believe the 6th is a Friday, but let me just double check that. Yeah, so the 6th is a Friday. So you will have from the 2nd, which is 2 weeks from today, until that Friday to finish your cumulative assignment, and then also submit your interview of a professional paper. So if you have not yet had your interview with a professional, you have 2.5 weeks. And that's not even 2.5 weeks to have the interview. That's 2.5 weeks to have the interview as well as the paper completed. So for the cumulative assessment, this is within one of the folders in UB Learn. So this is just like another unit assignment almost, but it's really just going through and asking you a few questions, like important questions about what you've learned from the course. The bottom part is basically just giving me feedback on how the course can be better improved. I actually do take this feedback and try my best to utilize it and, use it in ways that I can. I don't know what I'm having so much trouble saying this. I actually take your feedback and put it to play in future semesters of this course. There we go. So if you could provide me some feedback about how to better run this course, that would be really great. So in the past, students had mentioned that they didn't feel that the course was interactive enough. So this is where the discussion board posts came in. There was some feedback about how they just felt like the instructor wasn't as present other than giving feedback in their assignment. So this is where the unit videos came about. So I know that the unit videos were kind of another task for some people and they weren't really fans of it, but I did get a lot of feedback from students, around the time when we were trying to figure out if I was going to continue doing the unit videos, to where they had thanked me for continuing to do it. So while I know it doesn't work for everyone, thank you for bearing with me throughout the course. There are people who actually benefit from these. So yeah, just going back to my initial point, if you could provide some good feedback, that would be awesome. The other thing about the cumulative assignment is that a lot of students kind of just get to the end and don't really want to put much effort into the cumulative assignment. In this assignment, it is still just as important to provide really thoughtful, detailed responses, whether it be your opinion or just talking about something that you had learned throughout the course. It is vital for you to get a good grade to really put effort into this assignment. And then for the interview of the professional paper, this, if you haven't found this already in the papers and projects section, you can find basically the outline for the paper, the questions that you should be asking, the questions that you should be reflecting on in the paper. Everything should be all set and lined up for you. So let's see. I should have all of the Unit 5 assignments and quizzes graded by the 2nd. I should have, like I had mentioned, the quizzes done in just a few days. That's not too much of a hard task for me to do. And then for discussion board number 5, I'm going to try and get a head start on this so that I can have it graded before the 6th. So I might just approach this as I will grade them as they come, but kind of depends on how things line up for the next few weeks. As far as grading after the 6th, I try to have my grades in relatively early. Depending on how the end of the semester kind of wraps up, you might not get them until around the time when they're due, which is at, I think it's the end of the month. So I try not to go that far because I like to have a break just as much as you do. But just to give you a heads up, that stuff should be graded relatively soon before grades are due. Other than that, the only other thing that I think might be worth mentioning is I have been getting a lot of emails from students about what their current grade is in the course. So in order to really calculate this, you can actually do it on your own. You can go into the to UB Learns and really calculate. So first there should be a column that says all of your points. So that should already be lined up for you. If you want to figure out the out of points, so how many points are available that would help you like as the denominator for your grade, go through and add up all of the maximum points from every assignment. So you can take your top number divided by your bottom number, and that will give you your grade. And so what I did do in the syllabus is there is basically, there's some grids on here that will tell you what your grade is in the course. So if you go through and you calculate like an 88%, score, which obviously you would take your decimal that you would get from dividing your points out of the maximum number of points, you'd get your percentage, multiply that by 100, and then once you get your percentage, go in the percentage column in these charts on the syllabus, and it will tell you which letter grade that is equivalent to. So if anyone has any concerns or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to me. I think that is really all I wanted to mention today. I do have to say, thank you for all of your effort for what you have done in the discussion board number 4 as well as the unit 4 assignments. I think that this was a great comeback after having, some difficulty with the understandings of the resource assignment. But please, 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 if you have not yet done your interview with a counseling professional or have not scheduled it, you really need to get on this ASAP. So if you have any questions or concerns, as always, please email me, and I will be seeing you in the next unit, and this will be our last video after this one. So, all right, take care. Everyone have a good Thanksgiving.